Hello my friends, this is Dominic and once again welcome to another video from Solid Visual. I am going to take you step by step and create high quality 3D exterior rendering that you see on your screen in Lumion. I'm going to demonstrate this using ArchiCAD for 3D modeling software, but if you're coming from a different 3D modeling software, you are also welcome because it's the same workflow. If you like this kind of videos, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be updated or notified for new updates. With that being said, let's jump straight into Lumion. Alright, first thing first is to create a new project. I'm using Lumion 2023 version and I know there is already 2024 out there. Let me know in the comment section how many of you guys have already upgraded. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a new project and then I'm gonna select a plain environment. These are different types of templates you can use, but in this case now I like to start from scratch. That will give me an opportunity to create my own or custom environment. So I'm going to go with the plain environment. Let's click on that and wait a second for it to load. There we go. I'm gonna try explain everything, guys, if you are a noob or a beginner within this workflow. So I'll try my best to really explain everything and so that everyone can have the fundamentals of how to create high quality 3D renderings in ArchiCAD. In Lumion, sorry. The first thing that I need to do is to organize my layers. So the first layer on the list, I like to leave it untouched. So what I need to do is to start from the layer 2, double click on it to open it so that you can edit it. I'm going to rename this to be for the model itself. This is going to host my 3D model. Okay, and then click outside to complete the renaming, and then I'm going to double click again on the layer 3 to rename it to, this will be the landscape and surroundings, something like this. Then I'm gonna move ahead to the layer 4, just click outside, double click on this one and rename it to be, this is going to be human / animals. How do you spell animals? Animals. Click outside to complete the renaming, and this I'm gonna double click on layer 5. This I'm going to rename it to be lighting. Okay, and I'll create another layer. Let me complete this by clicking outside. Let's hit on this plus sign or add a layer, and then I'm gonna double click on it to rename it. This is going to be for vehicles, right? How do you spell? Okay, vehicle, or just /cars, whatever. Okay, I don't know with the latest version how many layers could you create. I know from Lumion 12 down or the downwards versions, you can create up to 20 layers. I'm not sure with this one. They're really trying to improve to create more layers or many layers in Lumion. So I'll double click outside, and I have all my layers now in place. What I need to do is to bring the model itself. So Lumion tried in this latest version to try redo or rework their interface to give us an opportunity to focus only on your project. You could see the icons and of tools have been simplified, and everything is on black, so that what pops out here is your project. So it gives you a chance to really focus and work more on your project. And they've organized their tools in a way that creates a lot of space for the workspace. Even on the latest version 2024, this has been relocated at the top there. It's more like a drop down menu where you'll be just clicking on an icon and then you access the list of all the tools, which again improves the entire space for the work environment, which is a good thing. So from here, what we need to do is to bring our project. Like I said, I'm going to use ArchiCAD for the model, so I'm going to go to my ArchiCAD. I have this project that I've created a video of this presentation. I'll put the link at the top right corner, or also in the description for you guys to check out this video, how to create this kind of a presentation. But again, if you want to follow along with this tutorial, make sure you download this project. The link also on the description. It's on our Patreon membership platform. Just go there, and that's the only way you could support this channel. So if you go to the 3D window for this project, and of course this was created for the sake of that presentation, and what I need to do is to get rid of the 3D cutaway by just going here on the top menu and uncheck this window. If we look at now the model, there are a lot of things that are missing. It's because we have layers that are off for this demonstration. So what we need to do is to Control L in your keyboard, or you can just go to Options and then Element Attributes, Layer Settings. Okay, so from here, this project was assembled by a template, I think MS BIM 2023 or 2022, if I'm not mistaken. We have a ArchiCAD template that is currently running, which is the latest version 2024. Check also the link on the description to download this template. It's a very powerful template that will really optimize your workflow instead of just it's again a base or a foundation for you to customize or create your own template. So it has all the structures that really adhere with the high standards of a good template for ArchiCAD. So if you go here under the layer combinations, we have a layer combination that will show all the elements within your project. So if you look at if you select it and then if you scroll down here, you see all these layers are active, unlike other layer combinations. For example, blends and approvals, you see the bunch of layers that are off, but for the sake of this I just want to show everything. And then I'm going to select this, then hit OK to apply the changes that will bring all the elements active in this window. So what I need to do is to edit. I think I don't need the car for this. Let me just get rid of it. Then I don't know what happened to this slab. I'm going to drop it down to 100. Yes, I think it's fine. Then one thing that I want to do is is this area here. I want this to act as a planter, but as it is now, it looks like it's made up of a timber material. So I'm going to change the material of this by selecting on it, then open the settings for that. Let's change the surface. I'm gonna search for maybe earth. Let's say earth material. Select this brown one, hit OK, and then I'm gonna drop it down a bit because it has to be a planter kind of. So I'm going to make it 1.8, drop down by 200. Okay, it makes sense. So that means I need to stretch this beam. Let's stretch this down to there. Okay, I'm pretty much impressed now with all the elements, so I can now send this to Lumion. Okay, and oh, by the way, I don't necessarily need this to show. These are zones that were activated to show on the 3D. So if I go to view, then elements in 3D view, then let's open the filter and cut elements, or Control Alt A in your keyboard. So if you look at element types to show in 3D, you would see zones have been active. So I'm going to get rid of that by unchecking the box and then hit OK. So the zones will disappear. All right, so that's basically it in terms of editing. I can come back later again to assign or make some changes or some modification within the model and update it on the Lumion file. I don't know, this is what is supposed to be this. I'm gonna get rid of this, and yeah, I think everything now makes sense. I can send it to Lumion. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the live sync. I think if you're using other programs such as Rivet, 3D SketchUp, Corona, all these programs, all these 3D modeling programs, they do have a live sync. So go to the Lumion website and then download the version for your program. So I have it already installed here. As you can see, I have this button for live sync. So if I to start the live sync, automatically it will be sent to my project. Unfortunately, I'm using one screen. If I don't know if I could let's see if I could, yes, stretch this like that, and then do the same to ArchiCAD. I'm gonna divide my screen into two programs, something like that. Okay, all right, so if I come here on ArchiCAD and then go to live sync, start the live sync, this will be transferred into Lumion. As you could see, now it detects there's a live sync that is being started from ArchiCAD, so it will be ready. It's just preparing for it to receive the file from ArchiCAD. So it works the same for every program, guys, so don't worry. So once you've installed it in your you install the live sync add-on that you download it from Lumion website, you can just run a sync. The advantages of having a sync are enormous because yeah, there's a back and forth that you do, most especially when you're setting up your project in Lumion. So you need a live sync. Even I can also take advantage of the cameras in ArchiCAD. In this case, I know Lumion is very difficult for you to get a proper camera unless you are an advanced user, but as a beginner you might want to get the perfect shots from your native 3D modeling software. For example, I would say let me go to the ground floor, and then I'm going to take this camera. I already have cameras placed for this project. I'm going to right click, then I'm going to show selected in 3D. So this will give me this camera, and oh, I need to update it. I don't know why it's not updating. Let's say run. Okay, I'm gonna resume again the live sync. Yes, then I can find the perfect camera. Like I said, let me right click again and show selected camera on 3D. I don't know, yes, something like this. And then I can again switch on the layer combination for all the layers. This will give me this kind of view. I really like this kind of views because they show both what's on the ground and then they cover even the height of your building. So with that being said, I'm going to take, I'll save this shot, right? You see the power of using live sync. I'm going to come here under the photo mode within your Lumion, and I'm going to, let me just maximize this window because it's very important. Yes, and then let's zoom in. I'll zoom in by using the wheel of your mouse. Just scroll the wheel of your mouse like that to zoom in your project. But the most important part, guys, in order for you to get a proper shot, I will zoom in just to this far. Then I'll use the focal length to bring closer the project. This actually helps to widen up and make your project look real and bigger. So if you say the focal length of this should be just like you're using a camera. A camera does comes with different lenses in terms of the size. So each and every lens has a situation to work on. In this case, we're using this focal length as a camera lens. So I'm going to drag this and then to 22. I like using 22, 23, 24, somewhere there. Then I can just push it back again. Yes, I think this is perfect. And I can control H in your keyboard to make this straight, to make your vertical lines vertical, horizontal lines, or you can use control H. As you can see, it just dropped down a bit. So once you're done with this, you have to save this camera by taking a shot here. Right, I'm going to say save the camera. Now I have this saved, but what I like is to maintain the equal size. This space has to be equal to this side, so I like to really maintain that proportion. So I'm going to use the arrow key, the left or right arrow key, just to drag it a bit like that to make sure all the space it's equal. Okay, and then I'll again store the camera to update that. Once we're done with this, let's go back to our 3D, or we go back to the build mode in Lumion. So by clicking on this, you go to the build mode. If you are new to Lumion, these are the navigation panel for your project. So this is the build mode, this is the camera mode or the photo mode, where you create photos or images and videos. As you see here, we have the movie again. It works the same as photo, but here you are creating movies. As you can see, you're just recording the movies. And then we have the panorama, 360 panorama, where you can also create 360 panoramic views for your project, which is really powerful. I'm here to do a presentation or a video sorry, a video about this because I really have a lot of ideas on how to use or introduce 360 panoramic presentations within your architectural project. It's a very powerful feature or technology that it's under I don't think we are maximizing its potential, because it's even on YouTube there are really not much of the videos that talks about that. I really want to explore that part. I have an idea. I have more ideas actually. I've done different projects using Search. I've created presentations that were really engaging for my project. So let me know in the comment section if you're interested to such kind of technologies, and I'll show you the different ways of creating magnificent presentation for your architectural project. So we have the save and load project. This is basically where you save, where you create a new project. That's where we started. Remember, we've started by creating a new project. So these are just a normal or basic features that really comes with every software you save as, or you're saving features. Okay, let's go to the build mode again. This is where we do much of the stuff in terms of composition of our project. So if you look here, like I said, if you are to orbit or navigate with within your project, is to use mouse wheel to scroll forward, backward, like that, as if you're playing a game. And then you can use also the arrows in your keyboard to go sideways or forward and then backwards, just like as you play your computer game. And then you also, if you right click and hold in your mouse, you can orbit like that, in case if you are new to Lumion, guys. And then you see here at the bottom, at the left bottom of your interface, it shows all the shortcuts keys for navigation. Your height keys, QE, your movement keys, it's WASD, also represent the arrows in your keyboard. So WASD, W for forward, and then A for left side, D for the right side, S for backwards. Okay, but again, the right click and hold, it's for orbiting like that, to look around your project. You can look around like that. Okay, perfect. So what is important now here is to create a composition for this, because every project has to tell a story. The most important thing that we are going to be critical with is what exactly the outcome we are looking at for this project. You can borrow some ideas using some pictures on internet. Normally I borrow ideas from Pinterest. There's a lot of good images to reference with. So but here, because I have something or an idea in mind, so I'm going to just create it from scratch. Okay, so if I had to, I'm going to hold the right click button, then press on Q to look up on the top like that. So it's very important. So you can both, or use a combination of the right click, okay, and then while you're still holding the right button in your mouse, you can also intertwine it with the sideways or move up or in using the arrows or WASD keys in your keyboard. So it's very important. So here what I need to do is to elevate or move this up, move the file up, because as it is, I think it's not sitting on the right elevation. So I'm going to come here on these tools, and then make sure you are under imported models section. Okay, make sure this it's active in Lumion, especially in 23. If your tool is active, you would see being highlighted by a blue color. For example, we're in build mode. You see our build mode is on blue. So if I had to change it to camera, you see we are on blue. So let's go back and make sure you are under imported models, right? So from here you would want to have a selected tool, or a select tool, sorry. And then what you want to do is to select the model. So I can see the point or the node for the element for this model. You would see this dot or point. This indicates the point of your model. So it sits right on 00 origin. This has been derived from my ArchiCAD. So the position of your model within ArchiCAD, within Lumion, is based on your 3D modeling program. So this also corresponds with all the 3D modeling program. So it's a 00. It's more like your 00 origin point. So make sure you when you are creating your project, you don't create project far from this point. It's good to have a product around this point for navigation purposes, most especially in third-party programs. Even if in your 3D program, it's also important not to move away from this point. So what I need to do here is to elevate it a bit up so I can select it like that on the point. You can see it's been highlighted blue. That means it's active, and it will give me this the ASMO feature or ASMO tool to move up or sideways on the x-axis and the z-axis. So this came with this version. I'm sure even for 2024 it has this feature, but the other versions, the lower versions, didn't have this tool. So you could go here under the parameters and then set the y-axis to be whatever dimension you want. In this case, I'm going to just use the ASMO tool or feature just to drag it up like that. Just drag it up like that to the position or to the desired position. I think this is the perfect position I'm looking for. Perfect. Now you could see my roads are nicely placed there. And then I think from here, if you go back to the photo mode, you'll see we have a complete file like that. I know this might be, it looks a little bit higher. You could see my road, it has a depth, but I can fix it using, or maybe drop it down a bit again. Maybe instead of having at 74, we can have it at 0.50. No, I think this is too low. 0.70. Yes, I think this is the perfect position. Okay. Let's move ahead and edit our project further. What is important here is to know as the sequence of your events in ArchiCAD. In Lumion, if you are, I don't know why I keep on saying ArchiCAD. In Lumion, it's very important to time your works, because I would like to do the texturing first before I can even apply any other secondary 3D objects such as trees, like your cars, people, stuff like that, for just to simplify the model because it's a quite tough and hardware intensive program. So you really need to be very smart in terms of how you work. So I like to do the texturing first before I can apply all the effects and some secondary objects. So I see it quite well working with my workflow. So from here, what I need to do, when I applied or when I imported this file using the live sync from ArchiCAD into Lumion, I didn't really, the current layer was vehicle and car. So it imported this and then put this model under vehicle and cars. So we need to relocate this file to model layer. So I'm gonna just simply go to this editing properties, then I can just change by clicking on this arrow for layers, then assign it to the model layer. Perfect. So it's very important to work with layers. I can't emphasize this further, because I really like, in every program, layering is very important, because that's how you manage and control the visibility of elements. You can really, in this case, I can switch off elements that I don't want to show, just for the purpose of making my model lighter, so that I can work efficiently on the particular tasks. For example, I can now do the texturing, right? If you go down below here under your tools, make sure you are under materials. So if you activate the materials section, it will give you this. So I'm gonna start by the project itself. So this part is supposed to be a charcoal gray, dark gray, for example. I'm going to select this. There's what we call let me just select this first and open the material settings. Okay, so here what we have is the all materials, and are being organized in some categories, as you could see, just from fabric up until to fair wood, stuff like that. So this was changed on the recent versions. If you're using lower versions, you don't have this kind of arrangement. It's different from this. So here they was trying to simplify the navigation through your materials, of which, and again, they made it better, way much better on the latest version, which is 2024. So what I need to do here, they are plaster materials. I can go under stucco or plaster, whatever the case, and then I can select on this one to apply it. So this is what you get. And Lumion has pretty nice materials to work around, as you can see, but I like to use PBR materials. PBR materials are one of the best materials to use for your visualization. PBR stands for physical based rendering. So these are materials that simulate the interaction between light and surface accurately. So it's very important to use such. So they have properties, as you could see. Even here on this material, we have different properties of this material. We have the texture, the map, the roughness, reflect. These are properties that are very important. But with PBR materials, you get all these files. In this case, here we don't have a displacement map, we don't have okay, we have a reflective map, we don't have normal map. So we can really load in our own PBR materials. Recently there has been an influx of sites, that online sites that are offering the PBR materials free and on a premium membership. So you can check the links on the description. I'll put all the sites that I like to use and download the PBR materials from. Some are free, some are paid, so you'll have to choose with whatever you can afford. So in this case, I'm going to load a PBR material for this surface. I'm going to go here under texture, double or click on it. If you click on it, it will open you to the path of the folder where the material are being placed. In this case, I'm going to go to my folder and find the folder for the PBR materials, which is this one, and I'm looking for a plaster material, so I can just type P. We have painted plaster, and then I have these two plasters. I can open them and preview, see what's better. And let's go for, I'm gonna open this one as well. Okay, I'm gonna use this one. I'm going to load this texture, the texture map. Right, is being loaded. As you could see, I have to load again the map for relief, or it's called the normal map, which is this one. Hit OK, wait a second for it to upload. You would see the changes. If we just zoom in here, you would see the changes. Roughness, I'm going to click on it and then upload the roughness map. Wait for a second, and then I'm going to change the displacement. Let's load the displacement map. That would dramatically change the depth of our surface. Wait for it to load. Boom. Okay, so and then with this displacement I can just bump it further up, maybe to 59 or something like that. Okay, and then one thing that I want to do is to sharpen or to kill the sharpness of this curve. In reality, we don't have a perfect edge, so you have to round it a bit. Those imperfections, they create a realistic rendering. So I'm gonna go here while I'm still in the settings, right? Let me just move this here. While we're still in the settings, we want to access the, let's go here, no, under settings, right? And then I'm gonna soften the edges. Let's just soften edges. Make sure you also check with that. I'm gonna soften these edges a bit like that. Yes, I think they look perfect. And then one thing that I need to do is to wither it a bit. If you wither it a bit under this, let's click on this property. Sorry about that. So if you go to withering section under your properties, you have to choose withering type of your surface. We have different types here: stone, wood, etc. But for this, I'm gonna go with stone because it's something that is closest, or it's closer to my surface. So I'm going to wither it around maybe 5% or 10. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna zoom in so that you'd actually see it on the edges like this one. So if you just wither, you see changes in the depth of your texture. Okay, I think let's just leave it here under 33%. It looks great. And then the other thing that I need to change is the color, because like I said, I want this to be charcoal. Okay, I want this to be charcoal. You see, we've managed to round off our edges. They look pretty much real. That's basically what we wanted. So to change the color of this, you go here under the color section. Color section, then you're just going to drag around this RGB. Then you can reduce the texture a bit like that up until you get the desired texture. I think this is what I'm looking for. It looks a bit better. If you want, you can increase the roughness and the reflectivity of the surface, if you say something like that, because if you paint it, it will have some bit of reflection because it's paint. Maybe the roughness, no, the roughness, let's just keep it around 50%. We can also change the scale of this, maybe bring it a bit higher if you want to expose your surfaces like that. I think it looks great for a starter, which is perfect. Let's see it from a distance. Yes, and again, it's important to work your surfaces in relation to lighting. It's also a great thing. So lighting determines what kind of surface. Like I said, PBR materials, they simulate accurately the interaction of the light and the surface. How your surface reacts is determined by the lighting. So for example, if I go to, I can close this by clicking on the save changes, right? Let's just save changes. Alright, if you come here on your toolbar, you can activate this. Oh, sorry, what have I done? Here under this weather, I don't know, it's weather or whatever they may be calling it. So you can try to play around with the settings here. I know again you can also achieve it on the photo mode while you are preparing for render. You can play around with some effects, but you also want to have a feel on how your material reacts to lighting. So I'm going to change the type of, maybe the direction, right? Sorry, not the direction, because I want it to be right. I want to expose the surfaces just to appreciate how they reflect and interact with the light. Okay, perfect. And then the theme of this rendering is to expose the surface, because this will influence the language of architecture that I'm trying to communicate. So having it this way, it makes a lot of a difference. Okay, so let's go ahead and do their remaining surfaces and apply texturing. So I'm going to go back here under the texturing panel. Okay, texture panel, then select, I'm gonna go with this one. For this, I'm looking for some marble kind of finish. So I'm going to again assign, let me go to materials and then assign, go for stone. I'm going to look for marble because I want to, it's always great, guys, to use Lumion material as a base, and then you can now import your PBR materials on top of something related to what you want to achieve. So in this case, I'm going to open marbles, and then there's this one, the poly marble. Let's just click on that and see to apply it. Wow, I don't think it's something that I was looking for. Let's go back to the material section, and then maybe on number 3, let's apply with this one. It's also not something. Okay, either way, I'm not going to use this as a final texture. So what I want to do is to go back to settings of these materials and then load a PBR material. I'm going to start with the texture, go back to the PBR. I think I have a marble here, which is this. Then let's load this one, open, wait a second. These are 4K material, guys, so it will depend. Normally they offer up to about 12K size of or resolution of your surfaces, so it will depend on your computer how big the images they can handle. In this case, I think 2K is good enough for me to render high quality. So this one is a roughness. Let me open or load the roughness, and then reflectivity. Reflectivity, it's for this case, it works as a roughness. So I'm going to load what you call let's go here under properties, the displacement. I want to load the displacement map, which is going to be this. Then okay, wait for a second, there we go, and then I can increase or bump it up. I don't know, you can see the difference. So if I play around with this button, you could see bumping your materials like that. So they really, it creates depth to your material. So I'm going to keep it around 20%. Okay, keep it around 20% like that. I think I might change this to something else. Let's go for, let's find this one. I think for this I might go with that. Maybe change the direction. To change the direction, let's go to material settings, and then under UV coordinates, let's click that. We can change the pitch. Oh sorry, let's just start with the heading first. What is going on? It's supposed to be the banking, right? Yes, it's the bank. Yeah, if we have it something like that, it makes sense. I don't know, let me know in the comment section how does this feel, but I can just increase the size a bit. Perfect. Then what else can I do? And increase the reflectivity just a bit, because this is just a reflective color or map. Yeah, I think this way it looks great. And then I'm gonna move on to the glass. Glass is always challenging. I'm gonna click on it, click on the surface, then go to materials. Let's go for glass, and I'm going to open the architectural glass. Go for number 2. Oh, here they're not okay. Let's go out, come out of this, and then find interior glass. Perfect. I'm going to use this one because it's kind of bit tinted, so I want something like that. So I'm gonna apply it to my glass. Yes, it looks great. Normally glass, I don't have much of the settings to do, because Lumion really does a good job when it comes to glass. You see, it looks great already. It looks great. So I'll move on to wood. Let me select this wood. One thing that you need to realize is that if I zoom in here, when you are under the material section, so if you hover around the surfaces here, you would see responding that they are ready to be selected. So I'm gonna select this, then I'm going to use materials here. Let's go for wood. Yes, just go for wood, and then I'm gonna apply this one. Okay, it looks great, but I have a PBR material that I can use. Let's just load the map. I have different types of wood here to use. So the PBR materials comes with different format, guys. Sometimes you'd see here say no items match your search, because the loaded format is JPEG file. So if you change here to maybe just text a file, you see your materials will be available. So just in case you may find this or experience this kind of situation. Okay, I'm going to rotate this by using a blank. All right, yes, and let's just zoom in to appreciate this first. I'm going to load the map, the normal map. Wait a second, there we go, and then I'm going to load the roughness, which is this. And wait a second, let's load a reflectivity if we don't have a reflectivity for this one. Let's just cancel and then go to properties and then load the displacement, which is this one for height. Some they will be labeled height, some they will be named displacement. So this, it means it's one and the same thing, so don't get confused by this. Height or displacement is the same thing. They affect the height properties of your surface. Wait for it a second to load. Perfect. Let's zoom out and appreciate, see how it looks from a distance, and then go back. I'm going to maybe tint it a bit, make it darker, and then reduce the texture intensity to make the color affect your texture like that. Okay, let's see, maybe I can change this to a different wood. We have this one, change it to all. No, these are just blank. I don't want blank. Maybe this. Yes, let me try this one. There we go. I think this may actually work. So if you reset the texture, yes, I think this works perfect. It works perfect with what I want to achieve. And then I can load the, let me load the wood. No, this is not the one. This must be the one. Yeah, I'm gonna load the map. So the normal map, and load the roughness and displacement map under properties, which is going to be the height in this case. Okay, so we might have to rotate this because they are horizontally aligned, so we need them to be vertical. I'm gonna go to the UV coordinates, click on that, then change the bank to be 0. Is it the bank to be 0? Let's see if it's here. Let's see if it's there. It doesn't really change, right? Yeah, I think it's okay like this. And then one thing that you need to do also is go to withering, change it to wood, then wither it a bit. Okay, just a bit like that. Maybe 10% will do. Yes, you see in your edge. You can also go here under settings, maybe soften your edge a bit, because this is just a wood. You don't want to go too much. 2% will do. You don't want to do it too much. Okay, so this might change. Remember, I'm gonna use the lighting effects again to control this. I might come back and change the color if I'm not happy, because like I said, lighting and surface is they work in hand, because at the end of the day you want your materials to reflect light accordingly. Okay, I'll go for this wood again. Let's go for this one, and I can copy and paste this because I already gone through some settings of this. So if I zoom in here and then select this material, if you go at the top here, there's a copy. Okay, once you've copied, you can wait for it to copy this in the clipboard. Okay, and then I can select this surface, right? Then paste the material. If in case you want to copy paste the material around your ArchiCAD, your Lumion. That's weird. So what I need to do now, I think this one, it looks great. Yeah, I think it looks great. I can increase the reflectivity of this just a bit, same as to this one. I'm gonna click on it, then increase just a bit. Okay, you see even here we have shadows that have been casted right on the edges where this in the corners because of withering. Wither does wonders, guys. You see your corners will be very nice treated with the shadows. Okay, so it's promising, as you could see. It's great. So I'll move ahead and do the remaining elements. So I'm gonna copy this plaster. Let's copy this plaster and wait for it to, I'm gonna wait. Okay, once you've opened it, you can come and copy again. Copy, then let's open, select this surface. Alright, select this one, and then I'm gonna paste the material. Right, for this I'm not going to override the texture color. I'm just gonna leave it under white. I might tweak few things. I think withering for this one, I might let's just leave it. I think it's fine. It looks great. And we have this material for the aluminium. I'm going to select it, select aluminium, and go to materials. I'm gonna change it. Let's go to metals. What can I use? Okay, let's go for this one. I just want something darker. I'm gonna apply this. Let me zoom in. I'm gonna zoom in. Alright, and go to the settings of this. Once you've applied it, what I want is to darken this. I want charcoal kind of a finish, so I'm going to reduce or override the color. This will also apply to the other material, like, or the other surfaces, like here. Then I'm going to, for metal, there's really nothing more you can do. You can say increase the metalness of it and the reflectivity. That's all you can do when it comes to metal. We have this door. Let's see what we can do for this door. If you select it, let's open the materials. I'm gonna use, can I use timber if I want? I can use wood for that. I'm just going to click on this one. Click on the wood to apply it. Let's see. Would wood do a magic? Yes, it can. I can use the same wood as this one. Let me just copy the parameter of this wood. Go to settings, then copy. Wait for a bit to be copied in the clipboard. Alright, go back to this one, select it, then paste. Perfect. It looks great. Now you have constant of your surfaces. Okay, now let's move on to the other materials. I think we also have this white. I'm going to open this one and copy the settings. I'm going to select that, paste the settings because it's the same white. So you could see right on the corner there, the withering is been overused, so I can go back here under the withering, then maybe reduce it a bit. You'll see that would disappear. You don't want to have it too much. You want it to, yes, to define your joints, but not to add a darker color on it. But as it is, it looks magnificent. Okay, so we have this door for the carport. So it's a nice door. We have this door pack that has different types of modern doors, same to this one. It's coming from the same pack. So if you check I'll put the link on the description to download this kind of doors. We have different types of door packs, custom door packs for ArchiCAD. So I'm gonna select it. I'm gonna keep the same color of charcoal, right? So what I want to add here, because again I'm gonna render close view for this, so what I need to do is to increase the reflectiveness of it, then make sure it's a paint. Do you have a paint here, or maybe plastic? Let's just change the withering type to plastic, and then I could maybe wither it a bit, right? Just a bit, 3% would do. Then what else can I do? I think it's perfect. So from a distance, I don't need to really have material applied on that one. Okay, what else should we do? We have this color, we have the surface again. For this one, I'm going to paste the same texture as this one. It's going to be on white. Let's just say paste. Yes, just confirm. Yeah, perfect. All right, we're supposed to have, I'm gonna copy the settings of this metal to the doors, to this frame. Maybe copy, then open this. Let's paste it, right, so that we can have that. It looks great. Yeah. Okay, now let's move on to the floors. Let's move on to the floors. So I'm gonna zoom in here and select this floor. This one I'm going to use a PBR material. So let's go back to materials. We want to apply a base material. I'm going to open the stones. Let's find tiles. Well, I'm going to pick something related to what I want. Let's just click on this one for polygon. Once it's been applied, oh sorry, didn't meant to apply to this. So I think the mistake that I did, guys, is very good to learn from mistakes instead of closing, because if I'm not say save changes, all these works that I've been doing, it won't be saved. So if it's crashed, I cannot do or undo this process of apply material on this wrong surface. So I had to redo it again. Fortunately, I have it applied somewhere. I can just open this, copy material, then open the materials that I want to apply and then paste it. Okay, so it's better save more often. Let's just hit on save, because it will save your time and efforts. All right, let's wait for it to save. Okay, once you are saved, once it's saved, we can continue with this. Like I said, I wanted to do the the tiling or the floor. So I'm going to go back to materials and then apply this. Apply the polygon. Let's just wait. Yes, there we go. And because I'm not going to use this one, I'm going to go to its settings. From the settings, I'm going to load a PBR material that I want to use. If you find, do I have tiles here or ceramic? Let me check. Ceramic tiles, change this to texture file. Yeah, I think this one. So this will be a base color, right? The base color is this one. There we go. I'm going to apply the normal map and the roughness and the displacement. You have the reflectivity again for this. We can the reflectivity will be this one. No, this is the metallic. Okay, we don't have the reflectivity. Let's open the metallic. That one. We can zoom in so that we can see all these changes we are making. And go to the properties to load the displacement map, which is going to be the height. Where is the height? Is this one? And right, okay. So here, what I want practically, you won't have, normally you would start tiling this portion by having full tiles as the first row. So we need to revise this to represent the reality. So I'm going to go here under UV coordinates, then I'm going to offset this on the Z coordinates. Let's just offset. I want to have a full row. The first one is to be full row, yeah, something like that. And then this can be cut. Perfect. Great. And one thing that we can tweak for this is maybe increase the reflectivity here a bit, then the displacement. Zoom in here. You can displacement a bit. I don't know, you can see the difference. You could see the difference in between the joints. Okay, so from here, let's zoom out. I'm going to press E and drag the right button to have this view. So I'm gonna go for this one. This one I'm going to use a concrete material. So let's go to materials. I'm gonna go to materials, then let's find under stone. We can again access concrete materials. Let's find concrete is here, and then I can just assign any, because I'm going to override it with the PBR material. So let's just apply it to the surface. Okay, zoom in and E in your keyboard, and then zoom in by the wheel in your mouse. You could see this being applied. What I need to do is to go to texture and change this to be, I'm going to find a concrete material to use. more like a concrete tile. We have a concrete wall, concrete, yes, this one. So I'm gonna start with this, the color map. Perfect. And the normal map. We go for the roughness. Then the displacement, if not metalness. Let's load displacement, which is going to be here. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to raise it a bit. The displacement a bit. You can zoom in to somewhere 15% would do. Okay, and I would like this surface to continue all the way to the driveway. So I'm going to copy the material and paste it. Once it's copied, we have to open this material or the surface and paste that there. Let's go to paste. Perfect. But we need to wither it. I forgot to. Let's go here and then wither it a bit. 20% to do. Same to this one. What's going on here? Okay, this 20%. Because I'm using the PBR materials, like I said, they are high quality materials. So some are 4K, some are 2K, some are 8K, 6. So it will depend on the level of quality you would want, but make sure it's really, or it's something that your computer can handle, because the higher the resolution of your materials, the more GPU it demands. So you really need to know where you stand in terms of your machine. So for this case, yes, I'll be struggling a bit if I continue further with, or maybe increase to 8K. So that will give me a headache to handle, but it's very good to use PBR materials for various reasons that I just mentioned. So either way, it's always a good thing to do. So I'm going to copy this parameter for the surface and then apply it to these steps. Something like that. I think perfect. So if you look at this, I think we're left with here this part. This one I can copy this surface of the plaster, then apply it. Initially my thought was to have some lights underneath here to illuminate, just to create a kind of a strips concept. So let me copy this and open the surface. Click on that and paste. I'm going to change the color of this. I want it to be more darker, so I'm going to say 50% override, so that I can have this to act as fins. Okay, yeah, somewhere here, darker charcoal, right, something like that. Okay, and then one last problem that I need to do is this background. for this. It has to match the color of wood that I've used. I don't know if it shared the material with the other one, it's going to be a problem. So I had to go to the file, to ArchiCAD, and change it. But yes, for an example, let's say let me copy this, okay, and then come and select the background, then paste the material. Perfect. I think, yes, this is what I wanted. Okay, I think our texturing, we're gonna texture only the front part because it's the image that we want to generate. So what's on the back, we will do it if we are really interested in doing the entire house, but for this I like to focus on area that specifically want to generate the image from. So this will give me a chance to perfect that view instead of just want to do everything once. So I think I've left with 2 materials for this. I wanted to do a kind of emissive lighting, or I can use a metallic chromish kind of color that will be used for the signage. So I'm gonna come here under materials, metals, let's just apply the chrome. I'm going to apply chrome for that. All right, I think it looks better. I think it looks better. We can, it's subject to change if you want. So the other one, the last part is this part, the road. The road has to make sense as well. So I'm going to select it, then go to stones. We have something like asphalt here under paving, or I can just select. The good part of this version is you could also search the material. We have a search bar where we can really find a specific material we're looking at. In this case, we are looking at asphalt. Even though I'm going to use a PBR material for this, I'm going to override it. Let's just search for asphalt. It doesn't have asphalt. Okay, that's fine. So let's my previous versions had asphalt. Let's go to settings and override this. I'm going to load a road. Do I have a road here? Yes, there is. I'm going to select the color map, then place it. Before I can bring the other properties, I can maybe change the size of this. Let's scale it up here, and then if you go to the UV coordinates, we want to move it on the Z axis to align this to the center, like so, something like that. Yeah, okay. Then I can apply the normal map and the roughness. Let's zoom in and see the difference. Then let's go to the properties and upload the displacement. There is a different way of doing roads in ArchiCAD. You can apply a plain mesh, a plain asphalt for this, and then you use the 3D decals or decals, feature that came also with the latest versions and do the markings for your road, but that takes time. As you can see here, I've loaded a high resolution texture that has already markings on it. I don't need to do the markings manually, so it's always important. So I'm gonna go to withering, wither it maybe, and make sure the withering type is stone. And what else do I need? Withering it to take care of the joints between the roads and the driveways and other surfaces. And then maybe the displacement under properties, let's just raise it a bit, just bump it a bit so that it can really have something like not that too much. Okay, something like this. Perfect. Now this looks great. Really impressed with the results so far. Let me hit save changes for the work that we've done. Save changes for now. Alright, from here we need also to save the file, because we haven't saved the file since we've started this project, you can imagine. So if you go down here under save, let's save this, save as. I'm going to save it under this tutorial. I'm gonna save it under this tutorial so that you guys, you can download this file as well. This is demo. I'm going to share this file also with the effects that I'm going to create with you, so that you can have this and just load it into your project if you really like the theme or the presentation or the effects really that have been assembled for this. So yeah. Alright, let's move ahead. I'm gonna go back to the file by going to the build mode here down below, and we're moving on to the third stage, which is the environment. Environment is the key component, it's the critical component for having a good render, because as it is, for example, if you go to our photo mode and this is activate this, you see we have just a plain composition. There's really nothing in terms of the communication here, but we could play around with some environment. Let's go back to the build mode, and I'm going to just raise the camera or the angle so that it can be the top. One thing that I want to change is this grass. So under the landscape, I'm gonna click on this material, sorry, another materials. Let's override that. Let me just bring this here. I'm going to go to the settings, right? Under materials, sorry. Let's turn this into a landscape material. So click on the landscape. You could use some 3D textures if you want, like you have 3D grass that you can use. For example, I can use this clean cut grass for that, and this also will have an impact to the size of your file, so your computer will start now to demand more of your GPU. So be careful with this. Be careful with that. You can zoom in and see the results here, or change it to raw grass. Let's see this one, how it will appear. Not bad. not bad, but I normally like to use just convert this into a landscape material. If you go here under materials, let's turn this, under new, I could use this to take the material of the landscape, which is the default material for ArchiCAD landscape. Let's just do that and see the difference. So it will be one and the same thing, like that. It will be one and the same thing. You see the difference? That's the difference. So now I could go back to this and modify the texture. Let's say we go to let's close off this by saving the changes. Come out of the materials, and we are looking at we're looking for the landscape. If you click on the landscape here, what you need to do is to activate the landscape grass. Okay, and then I'm going to make it on so that you could see your 3D grass. And then I can increase the size, I can increase the height, I can increase the wildness of the grass, and I'll have this kind of it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It looks real. It looks real. The thing with this, it will affect other surfaces like such as roads, stuff like that, but there's better way of covering this. So what I need to do is to go back to I'm gonna use the brush, okay, the paint brush, and then for the paint brush, let's select the surface or the color that we would use to get rid of this. I'm going to find something related to what you call the concrete. So I'm gonna reduce the brush size. This is the size of the brush. I think make it yes, this size is fine, and then increase the speed a little bit so that when you draw it like that, let's increase the size. Yes, now you can get rid of the material on the surface of the road just by drawing or painting along this, something like this. Even if it goes beyond the edges, because it doesn't matter, because it's a concrete material. Normally we would have some splits of concrete on the edge of the road, so you could create or take opportunity and create that effect in the edges of your road, stuff like that. Something like this. Yes, pretty happy. Even if you go back to the photo mode, then that will be covered. You see, you have a realistic road edges. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the build mode, and one thing that I need to do is I'm interested to have a wall here on the boundary. So I'm gonna go back to the ArchiCAD and let's maximize its view and go to ground floor. I'm going to Control L so that I can show everything here with this layer combination. Okay, so I'm gonna pick this wall. Initially I had a boundary wall from here all the way to somewhere there. Right click, hit OK. I'm gonna check on 3D. Is it something that I want? Yes, this wall I might drop it down, maybe 1.8. I think 3 meters was fine, or maybe 2.5, and then it has to go minus 1.5, maybe 3.5 at the top, minus 1.2. I'm going to play. Okay, the live sync is still active, so these changes will be back applied, as you could see. So if you check on the photo mode, I want to create something like that, but I can move this all the way to the boundary. So let's go back, go to the blend view. I'm going to stretch it all the way to there. Check on 3D, make sure it's been updated on your project. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the build mode, and if you look at the composition from the picture mode or from the photo mode, you have a vast, you need to control the eyes of the reader or the eyes of the audience, you know, so you don't want to have an infinitive view like this. You have to have a background. So in this case, I'm going to use the landscape. While I'm still under landscape, I'm going to activate the height and then bump it up. I'm going to raise the height. The speed is fine there. Let me just raise the height of this and increase the size. I'm gonna create a bit of maybe a hill somewhere here. Oh, sorry, that was too much. Somewhere there, somewhere here. And I can use this smoothen to smoothen this nicely so that it can be nicely done. This will create a big difference to my composition. I know it's huge, but I can still reduce. You can go back to the photo mode to check the settings. Okay, I can see we have bumped it up, but I really need to have some details on this. Okay, I could see the details here. Also, what I'm looking for, maybe change the size a bit. Yes, something like that. And then I can smoothen this area just to have a smooth detail. So if we check on the photo mode, not bad at all. This is basically what I was looking for. Now you can have some trees on top there. Let's go here. I'm going to raise the camera again. Then I'm going to activate let's just go to content library and then activate the nature, which is the trees. But make sure also you are in this appropriate layer, which is landscape and surroundings. I'm going to click on place. This will give me the opportunity to select the type of tree that I want to use. I'm gonna go with this pine or coniferous tree, something like pine. Maybe this one, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe this. Okay, see. All right, I'm going to place this, maybe 4 of them there. The side, place 2 of them. The good part of the ArchiCAD, if you place them to randomly reduce the size. You see, these 2 trees are on the same tree object, but they are not at the same size, which is great, because when you're dealing with 3D visualization, you need imperfections, because that's what makes it real. So if we go back to the photo, you don't necessarily need much of elements or items within your composition. Just few or 2 things will make difference. You see, now I'm controlling the eyes of the viewer, but these ones that have been cut, I can bring them or move them a bit there. So let's go back to the build mode, and I'm going to zoom in here, maybe place them somewhere there, like so. 4 of them. I can get rid of these ones because they are they are out of the reach. So you see, I didn't have many things within the picture or the frame, but I had details that really controls how you view this image. Okay, that's basically how you can manage the way you compose your image. So I can go back to the build mode again and then apply some nice grass and trees around here. So for the closer trees, I'm going to use what you call, let's go back on place. I'm going to use these fine detailed plants or trees. These are detailed trees, very important. So I'm going to go for the slashes, then use them here. These are small. I thought it could be big. Maybe I could scale it up by using the select, then activate the scale. You could use the scale bar and scale this up. I don't know, I don't think I like this type of, I can get rid of it, then go back to place. I'm looking for grass. So under this grass, there is a specific grass that I'm looking for. I think it's this one, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, or maybe, let's see. Yes, this is the one that I'm looking for. I'm gonna have 2 of them, maybe 3 of them here. Select all of them. To select all of this, you have to control and hold in your keyboard, then you draw a box to enclose this like that. I'm going to go here under scale, then let's scale them up. Scale this a bit, something like this, and then I can select, maybe deselect by clicking here on the deselect. Let's select this one, scale it down. Maybe I could move this somewhere here, and then I can copy these ones. I think this one was too small. Let's scale it up again a bit, something like this. I could what's going on? Scale. Okay, I could copy this to the other side by while still I'm on move, I can alt and hold in your keyboard to drag a copy to the other side. Maybe I can have them somewhere here, another one will be there. I have another copy, maybe 4 of them there. Yes, 4 of them there. Then I'll have a big tree on either side. So let's find a fine detailed tree. Let's see what we can use here. See, I don't know if, okay, palm. All right, I'm gonna go for a palm tree here, or maybe there. Right on the plot, 2 of them will make a difference. Yeah, two of them will make a difference. Let's go back to the photo mode and acknowledge this. Okay, it looks great. Even here, even though here it looks really much open, it's really open, but I can also control that by having some plants there. Okay, by having some plants. All right, so let's go back, and I'm going to, for the imperfections again, I think here also I'm gonna have some planting. Let me just go for the C. Let me see if this, yes, this would work. For this 3D or detailed, high detailed objects, you don't want to overplace them because to affect the size of your file. So having them like this, I think it's super. What I need to do is to place some leaves here just to make it dirty, not to overdo it. So we have a leaf button or leaf tab, and then under this section, no, this one, I think is this one. Yes, but this is too much. Yes, I think it's this one. You can throw some dirt just to make it real. So here, even on the surface, you have another one that will be cluttered here. I'm not overdoing it. That's the goal, guys. But you want it to be seen. And for the imperfection, I'm going to rotate to make it random. Let's just make the rotation random for these leaves. Okay. Perfect. We're gonna have the other one underneath there, somewhere here. And then we're gonna have around the tree. Here we're gonna have more of it around this tree. I'm gonna increase and go for this one. Okay. And then there's an effect that I could use to represent or communicate there from some fallen tree leaves. So if you go to effects and let's go for leaves. Is it leaves? Yes, here's leaves. And then we can click on leaf 1. I'm going to place it somewhere here. Then go to select so that you can, I want to increase the height. I'm gonna the position of it just all the way up there, and then reduce the amount of particles because we don't want them to be exaggerated. It should be equal to what's on the tree. It's not that much, but you can just move it to there. You can also play around with the type. There are different types of this in terms of color. Yes, something related to the tree and what's on the ground. So the wind also could affect, but because this is just an image, if it was a video also I would be considerate with the speed of those leaves. Okay, so if you confirm again from the photo mode, is it what you want? Nice, we have that. Here I can mask this view by putting some maybe butterflies on this grass or plants. Let's go back to the build mode, and I'm going to the butterflies. They are under trees. Let's go to nature, then click on place. let's go for, I think they're under plants if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And then if you search on this page, oh, there we go, I've seen something, which is this butterflies. I'm gonna place it here. This one I don't think they have much of yes, you can change the hue, whatever, but it doesn't have many properties to change. But if you look at from the photo view, it's starting to make sense. I can place some dandelions again. Let's place some. We're gonna place, find them under this. I'm not sure which page. These are flies. Seeing them here. Okay, here are they, dandelions. Click on it and place it there. Let's see on the photo mode, how does this affect our composition? Not bad, not bad at all. Okay, so I'm gonna go back again and I'm gonna place a car. There are different types of cars in Lumion, but to be specific, I have cars that I use that I've imported it from other sites. So I'm gonna go to imported tab, then make sure you are under human or animals, sorry, under vehicles. And like I said, I already have cars here, so I'm going to go for outdoor. No, really outdoor, or I could just search for car. We have this Range Rover. This is a truck. Let me place this Range Rover. I'm gonna place this Range Rover somewhere here. Okay, I like to use these ones because they really are high detailed objects. As you could see, it's a proper car. I know ArchiCAD, I keep on saying ArchiCAD, Lumion does have the really nice cars to use. For example, if you go to the transport mode, and we have different types of cars depending on the level. See, these ones are not high details, but if you move on with these pages, you'd find there are those that are a little bit detailed, like for example, let's go for this one, this Audi, and then if you place it alongside this, you could go to select so that you can access the edit parameters. You could change the number plate. I could edit the number plate, maybe go for a custom license plate. Let's see if I have a custom license plate on my computer. I don't have. Let me search for plate. No, I don't have. So you could use whatever you have. You can find whatever texture to load here. At least you could use a custom texture to, or custom image to place the license plate to your cars, which is a good thing. For ArchiCAD, for Lumion. Most especially, this feature works with the latest versions only. If you are below 2023, I don't think you can access this. Okay, so perfect. So let's confirm that on the photo mode, just to appreciate our composition. Okay, it doesn't really look bad. Yeah, it doesn't really look bad. Now we're getting to the critical part of this video, which is the lighting and effects to control everything. Now this will put everything in harmony, and I think we've covered a lot in terms of just composing this. I think you've seen how my approach in terms of the detailing of your composition. So let's start this in the next chapter. I'm gonna close this for now. All right, let's go to the build mode. One thing that I need to do is to set up lighting first, artificial lighting. So the first one is to use the surface lighting. What I mean by that is because I have this lighting script you have made out of a surface. So I'm going to go here under surfaces or materials, then select that. Okay, from there I'm going to apply a material. You could, okay, here under new, you could find there should be, we used to have a light map here. I think ArchiCAD decided to remove it. It wasn't really working quite well. That's the reason why they've removed it. But if you go to materials and then under plastic, I like to use plastic, but any material could do. I don't know why plastic, I prefer it, but it's for whatever reasons. So I'm gonna click one of or any here that will maybe go with the color that I would want. So this yellowish kind of light is the one that I'm looking at. So apply it to your texture. Then what we need to do is to turn this into a light instead of just a surface. Okay, there we go. Let's go to the settings. Okay, I see the machine started struggling. So what I need to do is I'm going to switch off some layers, most especially for surroundings, and let's just activate the model one. And then for vehicles and animals, we don't have anything here. So the one that needs to be active is the lighting, because we're working on lighting. All right, so let's go back to here, to this light map. What I want to do is to come under settings, right? Then find, is it settings? I think it's under properties, right? There is a feature called emissive that we are looking for, which is this one, emissive strength. So if we increase the emissive strength of material, let's say that it's not showing, maybe we can change the opacity. Sometimes it doesn't really show much, but that's exactly what we wanted. Or maybe I can even change the color. Maybe let's go for something white. Maybe white. So if you go back to the settings, and let's say we want the properties, right? And then change the emissive. Oh, sorry, which material is this? I need to select this one, change the emissive to be ArchiCAD. There's something weird about this. I don't know why is it nagging like that. Let's see if this is the case. Okay, let's increase the emissive. Let me make it all the way like that, and then the texture, I'm going to reduce it to white, something like this. Yes, I think that's what I want. And one thing that I can do is to put some lighting underneath, because at the end of the day this is just a light map, but it won't really affect the entire space. So I'm going to save the changes of the texture, and let's go for lighting. Right, so I'm gonna just move this up there, then activate the content library. I'm going to go for lights, and then if you click on the place button, you will access the library for lights. It will be this area lights that I'm looking for. I'm gonna go for this area light, which is the rectangular one. Then I'm going to place it somewhere here on the center or on the midpoint of the slide, stuff like that. Then click on select so that you can access the editing properties of this. So I'm gonna orbit so that I can see it nicely here. What I need to do is to increase the length, sorry, the width, and then reduce the length to be the size of that map, and maybe increase the brightness, and we need to, I can use the Asmo on the x-axis just to move it right there, and then increase the width so that it can cover the entire length of that. Make sure you do this. I'm gonna move it back there, something like that, to get a perfect picture. So the reason why it's not showing, you can show the light source, stuff like that. The reason why it's not showing the lighting, even if you go to the photo mode, you won't see really much what's happening there. Let's just I think we might have to raise our camera like that, I think, so that we can see even the undersides of the garage. But anyway, what I want, yes, I think, let's say underside a little bit, and then I would store this so that I can see the underside of the garage. All right, focal point is 24, it's fine. Let's go back to the build mode. What we need to do is to change the lighting, the sun or the weather conditions. Maybe instead of having it the height at the morning, we can bring it down a bit. You see, we are starting to see, if you bring the sun height down, you're starting to see your lighting, but you don't want it to be too much so that you can bend the surfaces of your material. So you want to be just moderate somewhere here. I think somewhere here it makes perfect. So even if you go back there, so you could see we have a little bit of light on it, and other effects that will control this. Again, don't worry about that. So I just wanted to show you how to light up that, and then I'll go back and complete the remaining lights fixtures or light surfaces. So I'm gonna take a copy of this. I said to copy, you control and hold, then I can just rotate a copy to there. No, it's not rotate, it's alt, sorry. Alt copy in your keyboard, then this I'm going to move it on the center, then increase the width a bit. In order for you to work with these small margins, by increasing it is very difficult. It's what I can say, it's the intensity is too much, so you need to govern it by hold shift so that you can gradually increase the height. Hold shift, I think it works even for scaling elements. So if you want to scale elements with small margins, so the better way of doing it is to hold shift and then use scale and reduce the whatever, if increase with a little bit or decrease with a little bit. So you need to press and hold shift for easily doing that. It's another trick that is very important. So this time around I'm going to copy this to center of this here, and then I'm gonna rotate this one, let's say, oh no, not this rotation, the bank. Let's rotate the bank to 90 degrees. Then I'm going to activate the move and move it on the z-axis, stuff like that, all the way to there. Then I'll hold shift again and increase the width so that it can nicely go and do perfect. Then I can copy, alt in your keyboard and hold, then drag it along this, along the x-axis. Then let's hold shift again, reduce the width up until there. Perfect. You can be perfect as much as possible, but I think for this it can't get perfect than this. All right, pretty impressed with that. So if you go back to the photo mode to check on that, activate this, then click to update the preview on the, yes, it looks a little bit much better. It will improve as we go on with other effects, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry about that. So and this leads us to the effects. So the best effects to start with is I would say go here and add an effect. The best effect to start with is under the architecture, which is the story front. This will give you the, because it's just white, it will give you the, I can reduce the intensity of the diffusion, and you can acknowledge the shadows and the lighting on your project, as you could see. So I like to have it as a base, and then I'll delete it after once I'm done. So I can now add a skylight, which is the second effect under lighting. Let's go for skylight, and then I'm going to activate the reflections, the planar reflections and the projected reflections. You can also increase the high quality, the render quality. Okay, for now it doesn't show anything. So what I need to do is to go back and then switch off the stay from. All right, if you click on the image, you would see, or you'd start to see your materials and composition coming up nicely. So the second one is let's bring in the shadows. I'm gonna bring in the shadows and then activate the soft shadows and then the fine details. I'm going to increase the omni shadow a bit here, and then the interior and exterior, I'm going to move towards the exterior part. You can click on the preview so that you can see your shadows casting nicely there. One thing that I need to do now is to bring the weather I want to control the weather conditions of this image, because I want to expose the materials but not to burn them. As it is, you see here, it's too exposed to the sun. So I need to go here and then bring first this real C keys. I'll bring the real C keys, and then if you click on this, you'd see we're starting to get it there. Okay, you can flip the sky if you want and click on the image to check the update. But what I want to do is to maybe change this the heading to be on the front. Okay, stuff like that. If you click here, you're starting to see your image popping out, right? And maybe I can reduce the intensity of the sun again. You don't want to burn your materials, your surfaces. You want them to pop out nicely, at ease. So another one that I need to do on the real sky is to change the skis of this. I'm gonna go with overcast and then pick one of this. Let's go with this one. Okay, now you started to see your lighting comes out. You see what I meant? Perfect. So this is how you do it, guys. But with this one, I'm going to control this by the sun effect. So let me add a sun effect so that you can see the difference. The sun effect, I'm going to control where it's heading. I want it to be on this side, but I'm going to control the height as well. I'm going to control the height a bit. Is this what I want to know? The height, and maybe even the intensity. Let's change the heading. I don't want it to be too much. Let's say we want it to be heading to this direction. The sun height should go down like that. Perfect. And then the intensity should be small, something like that, something like this. I can also control the heading, maybe a bit inside like that. Yes, and then also this will be complemented by other effects. So we'll come back again to really adjust one or two parameters here. Let's go and put I want global illumination. So for this one, I'm going to just increase the sun amount a bit. It actually helps to spread light across all the spots. Even the shadowed spots will be affected. So it's very important to really understand how these things works. Another feature that I will need to add is the reflections. Okay, let's add the reflections, and then for the reflections I'm going to activate the speed tray and then select all the elements that I want them to reflect. It's going to be the glass, of course, then all the glass, and then the wood, this wood as well, even the underside of this. I can also have reflection on this element, even on that one. Perfect. Let's hit OK. So click on the image to get the feedback. All right, let's go back. We need to bring in the we need to bring in the volumetric lights, but this one would work more if we have lights on it. Okay, so I'm looking for the hyperlink as well. So if you come here under featured, I'm gonna go with, these are all the featured, right? Yes, I'm gonna go with the 2-point perspective for me, just to have to straighten the edges of my project like that. And then I'm going to add hyperlink. So activate the preview and then go take it all the way to there. So hyperlink it to add now some reflections of light from other surfaces like that, which is very impressive. Okay, so let's go back, and I think I've added significant amount of effects, but now, even though we're gonna come back and add more, what I want is to add some lighting to control this area here. Is too dark, so I'm going to go here on the build mode. I have the lights that I already placed coming from the other side, so I'm going to come here under imported models, go to place, then let's search for lights. I'm gonna search for light. I'm gonna go for the downlight, which is this one. I'm gonna have downlights here. Why it's not showing? I'm gonna drop it down, maybe double click on it to bring it closer, and then use the y-axis to bring it down a bit like that. Make sure you are accurate, right? Okay, so I don't know, we might need to modify the surfaces of it. Let's activate the surfaces or the materials. Then I'm gonna click on this one, change the emissive style to there. Okay, these ones have textures. What I need to do now is to duplicate it along there. I'm going to save changes, then go back to content library so that I can activate the editing of this element. So I'm going to copy this on the x-axis, right? By holding Alt, like I said, I'm going to move it somewhere to there. I'm going to select, to add a selection for this by Control, hold, and then click on it like that. So let's make a copy by Alt, hold, and then I'm going to move it from the Y direction. Let's just move it to all the way to there. I don't know why. Is it moving on the right direction? Yes, I think it's fine. We need to select this one. Let's deselect first. Okay, I'm gonna select this and then Alt and hold, move a copy to, maybe I'll put it on this corner and then have another copy in the middle here. Perfect. I have another lighting. I think I made a mistake here, guys. You see these ones are not in line, so I'm going to delete them. Deselect, delete these ones and do it properly. So I'm gonna select this one and then Control hold, add a copy. Then let's Alt to move this on the Y direction, something like that. Perfect. So you could select all this and group them. Control hold and then select all this and then make a group if you want. So you can say how to group this. You can come here. Where is the group? Okay, group is this one. You can group all these elements, but for now let's just leave it the way it is. I'm not bothered to group them. Okay, I'll move here. I have two downlights as well, so I'm going to deselect and then I can select this one, Alt, then move a copy to there, then drop it down. I can double click on it, double right click, what you call double right click. If you double right click, it will bring it closer to the element, so that you can see properly what you're doing. Okay, then let's make a copy to the other side by Alt hold, something like that. Okay, so this, we just have an emissive we have emissive surfaces, but we need to place some proper lighting on it. Okay, so I'm going to activate the lights, then place. This time around I'm going to go with the spotlights. Okay, then maybe go for this one. Let's zoom in here, and then I'll place lights in all these downlights. Have another one here, another one on that one, just like that. I'm gonna zoom in so that I can accurately place this. Same to that one. We move to the other side. Sorry about that. And then here. And then another one there. So if you go back to our photo mode, and we want to also control how the slides behave, right? So what I need to do is to add a effect called volumetric lighting. I think it's somewhere here under lights, which is this one. Let's go for this, and I'm going to select all the lights that I've been placing so far, which is the entire light, so that it can then boom. Let's hit OK. From there it looks horrible. As you could see, it's flooding with the beams of light. So I'm going to control the intensity of it, and then I can also play around with the density as well. It only affects the downlights, the spotlights, because remember we have also this area lights. They are not normally affected by that. So I don't know why, for whatever reason, I don't know why ArchiCAD decided, when Lumion decided not to include them. But yeah, this is how it looks. And then I want to add a detail through this glass, so I'm going to add a light within that. So I'm going to zoom in here and add some lighting to the interior of the space. So I'm gonna go with this, add a light here, another one here, there, and there, maybe someone here as well. We have to have a chandelier here. So from these ones I can go for the select, then select all the slides we just placed. What I need to do is to change its temperature color. Just, I think I'll go something orangish. Right, yes, let's go for this. Then we can maybe change the radius, the brightness, whatever we want, but this will be controlled by what's the outcome from the photo mode, right? So if we say go to photo mode and let's activate the photo mode, let's see how does that affect. So I'm gonna go to volumetric lights so that I can pick those lights that I just placed. This one's, that one, and that one, this one, that. All right, let's go back and see. Yes, you could see some changes. You could see some changes, which is work in progress. And again, we can some of these things we can also control it by having I think we can have a curtain here, we can have another one there, but let me say we go back to the build mode, and then we're gonna add another effects from here. Let's go, no, it's going to be utilities. Under utilities, let's click that, but I'm gonna still use the same layer of lighting. Go to place, we want to add the reflection control. I'm gonna just place it somewhere there. Then let's go to select and raise it. Maybe just put it at this height. Okay, at this height I think it's good enough. It's good enough. So if you go back, to our photo mode, click on this to load the photo. Let's click to increase the preview. All right, so it looks great. Now we need to also to tweak more onto the weather so that we can get a perfect shot that we anticipated. Okay, yes, there are still some features, some effects that we are left with to add, such as color corrections, stuff like that, but those ones, they come once you are certain with the look and feel of your image. So I'm going to go back to the real skis. Okay, maybe instead of, I can just keep this like that, and then come here, and then I can change this maybe to this one, overcast. Yes, I think this makes a huge difference. Okay, and then we can play around with also the direction of the sky. Okay, we can go back to the sun, also change the sun heading. This is at night, no, because yes, you see I've managed to lighten up this underside areas, so now it's starting to look like a real color. So we can also increase the intensity a bit. Yes, I think it works quite well. maybe make it 30, 32. Make it 30, 32. Perfect. So one thing that I need to do as well is if you go back, is to add the color correction. So let's come here. If you go to color correction is supposed to be under this artistic, yes, where is it? No, supposed to be under enhancements. If you put on color correction, then this is default settings. The good part of this, it has a lot of features to play around. You can reduce your highlights. I can reduce my highlights, increase. Yes, I think you could see if I reduce the highlights, and maybe the temperature a bit, and then I would want the vibrancy to be up a little bit. Okay, a little bit, just like that. Make sure you click on the image so that you can preview your changes, or you can go with this LUT presets. I really like this one, but if you check, we have Tropical Paradise. This is another theme. We have let's say black and white soft. You can go for this kind of, I've seen this kind of it's a nice picture. It would be a nice one. So you could change cinematic depth, but I like the architectural night. It's really very good for, yeah, for this type of rendering. It works quite well. It works quite well, and I'm impressed with the results. Maybe I can reduce the vibrance, and then increase the highlights to match up with that. Okay, it looks great. So we can go back again and maybe even fiddle around with the color and other surfaces, especially for this timber. I'm not quite certain the way how it looks, but yeah, it looks great, for example. So if we had to bring other materials to the scene, like the cars and surroundings, vehicles, then go back to the photos. So that means your scene starting to be live now. As you could see, I want to, if you want to cut this screen, you can also change the aspect ratio of your image size. Okay, I can go for 5:4, or these are just for Instagram post, guys, and then I can go for the different sizes here, but let's just keep it under 16:9. It's fine. Let's keep it under 16:9. And there is another feature that I really like to control the far details. So it's called the abbreviation. So if you come here under the way it's supposed to be, is it camera? Yes, it's under camera, which is chromatic abbreviations. So if you bring it and then you change, I'm gonna reduce the size of the affected area. See at the back there, we've kind of blurred this according to the sun position, which is quite an interesting thing, because you cannot have it as detailed as you'd want to be, as maybe being closer. But this, if you control it from far, it will be nice, I'm telling you. So by using a dispersion, I would bring it down, and again the dispersion to be 0.5. So if you double click on it, you could I think I could increase a bit, maybe to 10. Yes, I think it looks much better. It looks much better. So another effect, that will be the, let's see, for this, that will be the details. I like to use sharpening to control my details. I think it's under, is it supposed to be under artistic? Yes. No, under enhancement, sharpen. Then I'm going to reduce it right to be 0.9, somewhere there. This would to sharpen. You can now see the textures showing on your image just a bit, right? Just a bit. Maybe I can also increase the, I can expose this further from the sun. Let's say go to the sun. I'm gonna go to the sun and increase the intensity a bit, and then preview C to check the results. Of course, you can't get the final result by just previewing here. Once you have to render and acknowledge and appreciate it from the image first. But at least the preview gives you a feel of what you are going to get. Okay, so I think I might also adjust the texture of this wood film material, even though I still feel it's good. I don't think it has a lot of item. So by the stairs here, we had I have the lights under the stair, this ramp. So if you go to build mode, and then if you zoom in clearly here, I can also I don't like the way it's been showing grass. I can leave it because from a distance it doesn't really show it, adds more details. So I can go to materials, then there is underneath here, if you zoom in here, there's supposed to be a color. Or maybe it's no longer there. But it's not, if it's not showing, I can just place an area light. So let's go to the content library, then lights. I'm going to place, make sure you are under lighting, right? And then area lights. Let's go for this area light. Okay, I'm going to just to place it somewhere here. Then select, make sure we are under the move, then change the width. I'm going to move the camera for this side so that I can see. Make sure, like I said, if you are increasing for this kind of margins, it's too small, what you need to do is to hold shift so that you can gradually and nicely increase that, something like that. I can reduce the length. Let's zoom in so that we can see if the length should be small, then I can just move it right underneath down the stairs. Oh, sorry. Reduce this. Make sure you get it right. You can also show the source light by clicking on this toggle so that it will guide you on where you stand. Okay, so that's actually help. It helps for you to position this, so it has to be underneath. Perfect. So from here I can multiply this on all the trees or steps. So I can just alt hold, then drag this all the way to there, and make sure it's on the right position. I will drop it down from the y-axis, right, and then also do the same, Control Alt, then drop it down, Alt to move a copy, move it down, Alt to move a copy, move it down. I'll make sure I'm doing the right thing. Do the same to this one. I'll drop it down on the y-axis. Lastly, Control, drop it down there. Right, so if you go back to the photo mode, so we should have some strips. Yeah, it shows, but even though it's not that dramatic, you can increase the intensity of these lights. I'll say Control hold and then select all the slides, then go here, increase the intensity. If you go back, you're starting to see some changes there. Right, I think for look, there's too much emptiness on this glass that you can actually see, so we can control that. I think I will have to go back, then maybe select this glass. I'm gonna reduce the reflectivity, maybe the transparency maybe to 80, then I can add a color so that to tint it more like black, something like this. Let's save the changes and see from the outside, from the photo mode, how will this be like. It might be too much. Let's go back to the photo mode. Yeah, it's still computing. Okay, let's go back and check the results. That's too dark. I think it's too solid. So am I going to change the transparency and see. No, it's a no for me. Let's just reduce this. Maybe somewhere here, somewhere there. Okay, I think one thing that I need to do is to turn on the source light for the slide so that you can really beam in nicely. So I'm going to go to content library, make sure the lights are active, and then I'm going to hold Control in my keyboard, then select all the slides. Then I'm going to show the light source. Okay, maybe I could increase the intensity a bit so that it lighten up that space. Let's go back and then check. Click on the image to check the progress. Oh, not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Okay, I need to occupy and populate the planter. I don't know why I forgot. So I'm gonna go back here. This planter is supposed to be occupied by some nice grass. So I'm going to say surroundings and landscape, then activate the nature, double click. I'm going to look for a plant that can hang in it. I forgot the name of the plant, but if I go through the list here, I think it's somewhere this one. Yes. I think I can put it there. No, these are not. The one I'm looking for is the leaves. So if we say go back, I think just bear with me while I'm still looking for that. I think might be on this one. No. Bear with me, guys. What happened? Can't be under flowers. No, it can't be here. Where is that far? Maybe under grass? Nope. I can put these ones for now. But the one that I was looking for, gentlemen, is that type of a plant that can climb the wall. It's more related to that. And I'm not seeing it on this version. view. No, not this one. Clearly it's not there, but let's just leave it the way it is. I think it's also it works as well like that. Okay, it works. Let me go back to the photo mode. We're in the last stages of our project. Yes, but the choice of materials it's subject, guys. I still feel I could do much better with this timber or wood structure. Let me just do something. I don't know why I don't want to fix this. I'm gonna go to the materials, then select. I'm going to find, maybe I have some wood here. Change the file type, make this large icons. I think this one would work. This one would work. Let's apply the alright, let's apply the normal map, and then the roughness. Then we move to the displacement, which is the height. So let's see, is it the result we want? I could zoom in here, then maybe even the scale it up a bit, reflection, and yeah, make it bump like that. I think this way it looks great. It looks great this way. I might confirm from the photo window how does it reflects or react or behave under some effects. Check. Oh, sorry. Let's go. Photo mode. I think this, yeah, should look nice. Yes, I think now there's a contrast between this element and then the vertical wood member. It looks great this way. I'll leave it this way. I'll leave it this way. And I might again maybe put some lights here, and then under this cars, just general light, because we are depending on the strips lighting here. But what I can do, I can go back to content library, then lights. Let's place I would say omni lights, just a general light for both the floor and the ceiling. So you're gonna just place it here, then move it up, increase the intensity. We can show the light source, but for this we don't need to show the light source. And what is important here is to have series of this instead of one. I'll add to move a copy to that side and then another copy here, just to lighten up this area. Okay, so if we come back to the light, yeah, something like that. Now we have, yeah, I think it looks it's not bad. Okay. I'm gonna test the render for this. Let's just hit on render photo. Then it's going to be the current shot. I'm going to use the desktop, which is 1920 by 1080p, and let's find where to place this quickly. The exterior, this would be demo. It's safe. There we go. It looks nice. It looks really nice. All right, let's preview the image so that we can make some changes. I see under the carport there, where that light didn't come out nicely. Let me open the image so that you can see. Let's see. Not bad. You see this light that I just added? It's not really coming up with the way I wanted. I don't think I like the way it is. But the overall picture is very nice. One thing that I need to change is this here. I don't know why this is so dark. It has to be a nice trim instead of just a dark shadows there. But these are subject. These are things that really depends on an individual. But I'm impressed with this. I can also improve the grass for here, which is also a part of the year. But I really like this. I really like this, how it came out. And then the door also can be changed. Maybe going something aluminum or charcoal. I think I could go with charcoal with that door as well. But overall image is, it's impressive. I'm impressed with this. So I can go back and let's say okay. What I need to do is go to the build mode. Then instead of using this one, I'm gonna get rid of it. Let's say this and that and that. So I'm going to go to place. Make sure I'm under lighting. I'm not gonna go with this. I'm going to go with the light fill. Let's just go with the light fill. Place it here. Then I'm gonna move it right there. I can increase its brightness. Not that too much. Then I can make a copy, make another copy somewhere here. Yes, I think this way it's really nice. One thing that I would do is I don't know, this is just the windows. Go to materials. Yes, these are windows. I can change this to be a charcoal material if I want, but I think that's okay. We can just leave it the way it is. It's fine. I think from the photo mode, what we need to add is the lens flare. I really forgot to add the lens flare. I see these lights need a lens flare that will harmonize the entire lighting of our image. So I'm going to go back. let's find lens flare. This is supposed to be under lighting. If not, where is it? Oh, supposed to be under, is it enhancements? Or maybe camera. Yes, it's under camera. Click on that. And I don't normally add or change anything here, but I'll caution you, you can change the intensity of this, the master brightness, whatever, but it can dramatically change the entire image of yours. So you make sure what you're doing is the right thing. Okay, so I think also this area looks bare. Maybe we can add something here, something maybe like a tree, or I'm gonna go with the coniferous, this something that will go up like that, and then that will go down. Yeah, something like this. Let's check on 3D, on photo mode. Let's see. Not bad. Not bad. I'm going to render. Let's go for a bigger image size, 3840 by 2168p. So I'm going to replace this one, or maybe call it A. So gentlemen, that will take us to the end of our video. I really thank you so much for your attention. If you really made it to this part of the video, it took long, but it was really important for me to go item by item, all the steps, all necessary steps that really, if you are a beginner, you'd be transformed from 0 level to 100. I think it was very important, and I hope you really learned a lot from this video. And then you can interact with me on the comment section. I'll be waiting for every comment, single comments that will come. Let me hear from you if you are really updated or upgraded to the latest version of Lumion, how it is. Let's give us a feel overview of it. And then if you really want to get the settings or the presets of the effects that we've created for this view or for this image, you can check the link on the description to download those in our Patreon membership platform. And then also, if you want the raw file for this project as well, for both ArchiCAD and Lumion, check the link also in the description for you to download that. Don't forget to check out our website, where we have all the resources that could skyrocket your workflow and really optimize it to be efficient in your project delivery. So the link also is in the description, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.